In this video, we will be looking at syllables in Biblical Hebrew words. Now, in English, we can have a number of syllables in a word, and a dictionary will show you where the word divisions occur. And you can start a syllable either with a consonant or a vowel. You can sometimes have two consonants together. You can have monosyllabic words like cat, disyllabic words, monkey, 2 syllables, trisyllabic words, kangaroo, polysyllabic words, those with multiple syllables, hippopotamus. And in English, you can have more than one consonant, usually one pronounced vowel. In Hebrew, or at least in Masoretic Hebrew, there are only two kinds of syllables: consonant plus vowel, which is an open syllable, consonant plus vowel plus consonant, which is a closed syllable. Only one consonant can begin a syllable, and a vowel does not begin a syllable. An example here is the word davar, which actually means word. And you'll notice that the dalet plus the comets is one syllable, and the beit comets resh is the second syllable. The first one is open, the second one is closed, and you will not have a vowel beginning that second consonant. Words also have stress. Usually the last syllable, but if not, there will be some kind of accent usually that will mark the stressed syllable. And if it's not the last syllable, it'll generally be the next to last syllable. All other syllables are unstressed, and this affects the vowels that are used in a particular syllable. So, for example, the short vowels that we learned about tend to be in closed, unstressed syllables, whereas the long vowels tend to be in open or in stressed syllables. So let's look at some examples of Hebrew words and how we might divide them into syllables. Now, when we look at this first word, we notice that the first three consonants all have vowels underneath them. There are no silent shvas. Okay, so that tells us that there are three open syllables: the aleph and the hatef patach, ah, the dalet plus the comets, da, and then the mem plus a comet's hey, which you'll remember at the end of a word is a long vowel. So these consonants are ah, or these syllables are adama. Remembering again that stress is going to be on the last one. If we go down to the second word, what we notice is that there is underneath the kaf a shva. Now, in all of these examples, the stress is on the final syllable. So our only question is, then, is this the comets or the kamatz hatuf? Okay. And chances are, unless there's just a little marker, there's sometimes a little vertical line. If there isn't one, at the beginning of the word, if you have this little kametz type of vowel followed by a shva, that tells you it's going to be the kamatzatuf, the O vowel. So this is going to be hoch with a silent shva, and then ma at the end of the word, which is a mem plus the kametz he, which is a long vowel. If we look at the next word again, you have a shava, and in front of it you have a short vowel. And remember that short vowels tend to appear in either closed or unstressed syllables. So we're going to assume that the mem, chirik, shin is one syllable, it's closed, and the silent shva follows. So mish, mishpat, the final syllable, gets the stress, and this is going to be an A vowel because it is in a stressed syllable. In the word after that, the mem has a shva underneath it. Now, when the shva is under the first consonant of the word, it's always going to be vocal because you can't start a syllable or a word with two consonants, so it's going to have a vowel. The lamed that follows has a vowel, as does the kaf. So the lamed kametz is going to be another open syllable, followed by the closed syllable at the end, melachim. If we look at the word following that, you'll notice there are two shvas. And the rule here is the first shva is silent, the second is pronounced. So, miz bechot. You have an interesting situation in the word after that because we've noticed before, we've had a couple of letters with the dagesh. We've had the pei, we've had the beit, but since they're all preceded by a silent shva, we take it for granted that this is a weak dagesh that is only used for begad kafat letters when they start a word or a syllable. Okay, but here we have a different situation because the tet does not normally take a dagesh. In this case, the dagesh is doubling the tet, and we see this over here in the transliteration. So kit, tal, tem. Notice that this, again, we have a short vowel, and so this is a silent shva. But it's kind of a different situation because here you have a segol, which you think, okay, that's a short vowel. It's usually in unstressed syllables, but this is actually the way that the second person masculine plural is written with the segol. And finally, we have the Torah at the end. We have a consonant with a dagesh. Remember, it's the begad kafat letter beginning a word or syllable, and then the long vowel, so to, and then ra for the second syllable. So just to review, a dagesh is used in begad kafat letters to stop the sound. In that case, it's a weak dagesh. And it can be used in any letter to double it, in which case it's a strong dagesh. The exception is that the gutturals and resh do not like the dagesh, and they usually reject it. There is another exception. At the end of a word, you might have a final hey with a dot in it. That's called a mapeak, and it plays a different role. What it does is it tells you that the hey is a consonant in this case. Because remember, when we look back at some of these heys at the end of words, they're actually part of a long vowel, the comet's hey. So if the Masoretes want to indicate that this final hey is acting as a consonant and not part of the vowel, they add this dot. Okay. Also, just to remind ourselves of the function of the shva, the shva is vocal when it comes after a long vowel. So, for example, here you have a cholam, and so this shva is vocal, shofatim. When you have two shvas together, the second one is vocal, the first one is silent. And the shva is vocal under the first consonant of a word, and it is silent in most other cases.